How's it going, everyone? Gotta go over some unfortunate news in this video. Always need to give you guys a heads up on the games leaving PlayStation Plus Extra, and in the month of August, we'll be losing some major titles, including a very notable Day 1 title. The Day 1 titles are generally for one-year windows. That one-year window is coming to an end for one major game, and some other notable titles are leaving the service as well. Very negative news recently in the gaming world has been everything going on with Bungie. As far as Bungie goes, it looks like Destiny 2 is going to be sustained, and there's been a lot of questions and not a lot of answers as far as what's going on with Destiny 2 and the future of it. Well, the Destiny 2 team finally put out a statement, and we'll talk that at the end of this video. But right off the top, PlayStation Plus Extra is losing some major games, including Destroy All Humans, Destroy All Humans 2, Lost Judgment is leaving the service, Midnight Fight Express moving out to NBA 2K24, Need for Speed Unbound, that's a major loss as well, Sea of Stars, which was a Day 1 PlayStation Plus Extra release back in August of 2023. The same thing happened with Stray. That's generally been the case with Plus Extra Day 1 titles, is that they are signed for a one-year exclusivity deal, and then, not exclusivity deal, but a one-year licensing deal, and then once that 1 year expires, they are removed from the service. Small Force 3, Reforce, and Trials of Mana, unfortunately getting pulled as well. Trials of Mana right before the release of Visions of Mana. I don't know, if there's anything to that. Maybe it was just a coincidence, timing thing, whatever the case may be. Those are some notable games, and it's always interesting because I would say that this month, the games getting pulled are at a relatively high level. Like, Lost Judgment is a game that could be a headlining title any month, as could Need for Speed Unbound, as could Sea of Stars, especially when it was a Day 1 title, and Destroy All Humans 1 and 2, perfect tertiary games. Midnight Fight Express, a perfect tertiary game. NBA 2K24, yo, there's an audience that are super into games, or that are super into the NBA titles. I think NBA 2K25 is coming out, so probably a wise move to pull that for now. But nevertheless, it will be interesting to see what they decide to replenish PlayStation Plus Extra with in the month of August, because that is always going to be the question. If we're going to be losing a lot of games, and I would say that this is a major departure, not as big as the 1 month where it was just like an exodus of all of the legacy Square Enix titles. Like, that was a bad month for Plus Extra, and like that month the Plus Extra update wasn't even good. I would say that the update we had in July was actually pretty good, when we had Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, where we had Remnant 2. I'm not asking for the world, but when you're talking about major games leaving the service, you do want at least a neutral level being sustained, in the sense that the games leaving the service don't outvalue the games being added to the service. And I get it that there's no way to quantify it for everybody involved. Everybody has their subjective taste. For some people, NBA 2K24 leaving the service might be absolutely disastrous, and that'll cause them to unsubscribe to Plus Extra. For a lot of other people, that's not a big deal. That is the reality when you talk about Plus Extra and Plus Essential and the games that are offered. I try to assess it from an objective standpoint. Look, I like my games that I like, and Lost Judgment leaving the service, to me, that's a huge blow. But I understand for a lot of people, you may have not even played Judgment, so the sequel to Judgment leaving the service isn't that big of a deal. But I would still say that's a game that, relative to what Plus Extra has been getting added every month, could be a headlining title as far as a main promoted game. And generally speaking, Plus Extra has been around the 8 to 10 games getting added every month, so 8 to 10 games here leaving the service as well. Hopefully the games being added are going to be comparable or even better in quality level. I feel like, given that we had a price increase for Plus Extra and just how a subscription service should roll out, the value should be better than the value departing every month, but like, who knows? Maybe I'm out to lunch with that line of thinking. We'll see in probably a little bit less than a week as far as what that Plus Extra lineup is going to be. Moving on from that, Destiny 2's Twitter account did note we'll be talking with you all about the future of Destiny and plans for our next multi-year journey soon. Once we plan a flag for the date, we'll let you all know. Thank you for your patience, and we'll see you again soon. I have friends that are super into Destiny 2, and let me just say, the absolute dismay that has been occurring with them has been quite the sight to see. I think a lot of people, at least this is what I can assess. I'm not super into Destiny 2, I've been transparent about that, but I think a lot of the Destiny 2 community is a little bit upset that Bungie is going to go so into developing Marathon, and they see Marathon as a waste of time because they obviously are going to be allocating a lot of resources towards that game, and you can make an argument whether or not that's the right move. But at the very least, Destiny 2 has been an experience that has garnered an immense amount of popularity, especially given that we just had an incredibly well-received expansion release for the game. Now to get hit with all these news, the timing, the optics, as they would say, just looks so bad in terms of the future of Destiny 2. You're talking about layoffs and the future of the game being uncertain after a high-quality expansion has been released. Like, we've had really bad Destiny 2 expansions. Lightfall came out a year ago, and that was generally panned. And then we get Final Shape, and all of this transpires. Obviously, the situation with Bungie has a lot of layers to it, and it's not just like Final Shape came out and it didn't deliver commercial success, so, you know, everybody's getting laid off. That's not what's going on, but optically, assessing it at a surface level, Final Shape did just come out. Final Shape was received incredibly well. Final Shape was the closure of an arc of Destiny 2, and hopefully it would lead to the next arc of Destiny 2, and instead, what we have is just pure uncertainty around the game. However, we also know that Bungie is allocating a lot of resources towards this other live service game, and I just don't know if that game is going to be a success. I will say this, I think if Marathon does not deliver, that is disastrous for Bungie, because they are seemingly at this point putting their foot off the gas a little bit with Destiny, and then you have this other live service project in the works, and we all know when a live service project bombs, it is ugly. It is very, very ugly. Most developers are not going to sustain a live service project for the turnaround to happen, a la a Final Fantasy XIV. That is an arduous and very, very difficult undertaking. Warframe as well was able to make the turnaround. Warframe and Final Fantasy XIV are outliers. They are not the rule, they are the exception, and there have been so many marquee live service games that have had so many resources allocated to it, and ultimately what happens, I think we'll see a very similar story with Concord as well, and it's just not going to turn out pretty as far as the future of those studios. Marathon could end up being huge. I am talking about in a world where Marathon isn't something that delivers, and given Marathon is a game we know nothing about really at this point, outside of it being an extraction shooter, it having a little bit of legacy attached to it, it's just hard to talk about it. But what is certain, there is always the possibility for a game, not just a live service game, but there's always the possibility for a game like that to flop, especially in a market that does have a lot of competition, and we've talked about it before, a market where you're more so competing with time rather than just money from the consumer. So it's just an interesting topic. Destiny 2 is something that is legitimized. It is already something that has a lot of cachet, a lot of brand appeal to it, even if it hasn't been a complete, let's just say, upward trajectory. You are coming off of momentum with Final Shape, and hopefully that momentum will be sustainable in the long term. I have one friend, and obviously this is just one person, that all of this news around Bungie and Destiny 2's future being uncertain has pushed him away from playing Destiny 2 from the time being, and this is a man that has played the game relentlessly for the last few years. So, you know, that's one person's opinion. I'm sure other people are just being incredibly optimistic, and hopefully everything does turn out well, because there's a consistent user base, and again, they just got a very, very well-received expansion on top of that. But that'll do it for me. Again, PS Plus facing some bad news as far as Plus Extra, a major lineup of games departing the service. Lost Judgment, Sea of Stars, Need for Speed, even NBA, and Trials of Mana as well. Those are some notable titles leaving the service. In Destiny 2, while the future remains uncertain, it does seem like they're going to be having a plan for their next multi-year journey. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.